This is Dr. Sam Benjamin, host of Primary Care. I just got finished reading some data that has inspired me to come, dressed as I am, into the studio to record this because I think it's important that you know about it in as timely a way as possible. Well, let me start this way. When I was a kid, my mom would sternly warn me not to drink coffee because it would stunt my growth. I wonder if she meant in terms of my stomach as well. Well, at any rate, physicians still warn patients even today that coffee can raise blood pressure, and that's not really true unless you consume gallons of it, or that it can cause irregular heartbeats. That's extremely uncommon, and then only in people with pre-existing conditions after taking lots of cups of Java a day. I remember many a morning rounding on patients in the hospital after having had no or little sleep as a resident in specialty training and sipping a hot cup of good coffee. It did more than keep me awake. It tasted great, and it was part of my ritual that ushered in another day. Starbucks, Coffee Plantation, and other chains, you know them all, are around. Why? Because there's a large population of Americans that rely on their morning cup of Java. It's part of their routine. But you know, maybe the docs that are warning people are making a mistake. I wouldn't be so quick to discourage my patients to take coffee. Studies have linked coffee to protective benefits against Parkinson's disease, stroke, diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers like breast cancer. A recent study of 400,000 people found that compared to those who drank no coffee, men who had 2 or 3 cups a day were 10% less likely to die at any age, and women were 13% less likely to die from conditions like respiratory disease, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, injuries, accidents, or infections. That's pretty impressive. So what am I going to tell you? Well, I'm going to tell you something yet even more dramatic, even I think more important in a way, and that's recent research published in the June 5th issue of the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease from the University of South Florida and the Bird Alzheimer's Institute. It showed that drinking about 3 cups of coffee each day might stave off Alzheimer's for older patients experiencing memory declines. Chin-Hai Kao, a neuroscientist at the Alzheimer's Institute, said that the results from his study, along with earlier studies in Alzheimer's mice, are very consistent in indicating that moderate daily caffeine and coffee intake throughout adulthood should appreciably protect against Alzheimer's disease later in life. Now remember, this means with caffeine, coffee with caffeine. It does not mean coffee that's decaffeinated. Now here's something even more intriguing, I think. There is an advantage of this coffee advantage, if we want to call it, that can be applied to young and old. If you're young or middle-aged, you should be taking it right now. Seniors, however, take note. The study of 124 older adults with mild cognitive impairment, ages 65 to 88, found that caffeine and coffee intake was associated with a reduced risk of developing dementia or a delayed onset of the disease. That's very impressive. Now, what's mild cognitive impairment? Well, it occurs in older people in which they display early signs of dementia, such as memory loss, that's beyond the normal limits expected in aging, but they still can perform daily activities. That's according to the Mayo Clinic. The condition often progresses into Alzheimer's within a few years. Now, it could be that taking coffee now could help you even though you're 65 and up. So, Mom, coffee hasn't stunted my growth. It might even help my cognition as I grow older, in fact. I've enjoyed every sip of coffee, and now I have reason to encourage everyone I know to enjoy a cup of Java. In fact, 2 to 3 cups every day. I recommend it to you. This is Dr. Sam Benjamin, Medical News. Medical news you can use.